Hi, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nicky 1000th Time Reactions.
Where we react to a song after listening to it for a 1000th time.
We release 3 videos a day.
Every day.
So make sure to hit that subscribe button.
And ding that post notification bell.
So you don't miss out on all the content that we're releasing out there.
That's right.
You know, we said in our previous videos that we've been off for a few days now. We just had a lot of things going on. We didn't have the bandwidth to release videos in the past few days.
We had a big show going on. We had to rehearse for that. And
don't worry though. We're back now, releasing 3 videos a day as we usually are. So what are we going to listen to right now, Max?
We're going to listen to "Oh What a Night," or I should say December 1963, in parentheses, "Oh What a Night" by
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Well, actually, I think at this time they were just going by the Four Seasons because none of the original members were in it anymore, except for Frankie Valli.
No. I think they were going.
Although Bob Gaudio did write the song.
I think they were going by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons at this point.
I don't think you're right.
No, when they originally were on, they were called the Four Seasons.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we can talk about this in our follow-up discussion after listening to the song. So, and to let you guys know, if you are new to the channel, what we like to do here is listen to the song all the way through without stopping,
so we don't interrupt the intention of the artist.
And then afterwards, we'll discuss the song,
our reaction,
some of the production qualities about it,
some in-depth analysis.
Yes, and we'll talk a little bit about the history of the song and the band, I guess,
if we should
know anything about it.
Before we do that, just want to remind you all, as we usually do, that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nicky, on which we perform oldies tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein.
And we got comedy videos on there as well. But for right now, let's take a listen to December 1963, "Oh What a Night" by the Four Seasons.
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
I think it
for our 1000th time.
Here we go.
Oh, what a night. December
That is
1963.
one of those perfect pop tunes, I gotta say.
Sure, yeah. It's very well produced, very well arranged, and a great song written by Bob Gaudio and
Gaudio?
Gaudio?
Well, Gaudio? That seems a little not correct. Maybe.
Sure, and
Bob Gaudio and his future wife, I'm not exactly sure her name. What is it? Judy Parker. I think she came up with the lyrical content on that song, or definitely the idea, which is an interesting idea. And I think they were a little apprehensive at first because they just thought, although it was the 70s, I think people were finally talking more about stuff that was, sexual in nature. This is about his first time. That's what this song is about.
Who, Bob Gaudio?
No, just somebody's first time. I don't know whose experience they were thinking about, but it was her idea to talk about somebody's first time.
It's also interesting that 1963, that was really initially when the Four Seasons were really hitting their biggest strides, right?
Yeah, I mean, 60s. I think even a little before then, too.
Oh, I know,
but yes, they were kind of at the peak of their popularity, I would say, in 1963. And
this is an interesting tune.
Well, I think that was not a mistake. I think that maybe intended that. Maybe.
This is an interesting song where there's three different lead singers. There's Jerry Polchi or Polky, is that what it is? He's the drummer, actually.
Let's see, Polchi on lead vocals. Yeah.
He's actually the drummer,
He's the drummer, yeah. Well, what's interesting about his vocals being on there is they thought that it was, actually, by the way, Jerry, I don't know, Polchi, he married Frankie Valli's daughter, actually.
Is that so?
Yeah.
I do not know that.
They are since divorced, but but what's interesting is he has this kind of very high tenor, and there's a sweetness, a purity to his voice that they thought was appropriate for somebody going to have their first sexual experience. They thought they wanted that, actually.
But
for that.
Frankie Valli, he sings on sort of those B sections, and the reason for that was that he was actually losing his hearing at this point. He had some sort of problem in his ears that he got corrected a couple of years later,
right?
And he didn't have that problem anymore. But
I think it was one of his ears, but
right. And then you have the bassist actually singing those falsetto parts.
I stop the wheel like a rolling ball of thunder. What's cool is whenever he does those high parts, listen to the bass on that, man. What a bass figure line, the bass line there.
Yeah, it's like
boom, boom. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, it's really melodic, and what a great bassist.
And it's also, the bass is very crisp and clear. You can really hear it very well on this.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very crisp and clear, very melodic.
I really like how
I like melodic bass lines. I was thinking that really adds, sometimes maybe it's not appropriate for a song, but it really makes a song even more, even catchier than it already is. You have the main melody here, but even to give it that extra catchiness, having a melodic bass line.
Well,
really
there's
helps,
something about this song. I guess it's, has a funky kind of almost disco-y feel,
Right. When did this come out? 1975. Yeah.
Right in the middle of it all,
What's funny, because it came out in December 1975. I think they probably may wonder.
It's an interesting time to release a song, actually. In December, usually Christmas music is kind of dominating the charts at the time. So it's interesting to release a pop tune that doesn't have to do with Christmas.
Yeah, but it might be a good idea because they probably were thinking, people are going to want this for Christmas, maybe. And they're like, let's release this now. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know what their thinking was back then. Of course, people don't really buy their music that much
all the
anymore.
musicians on this song are very top-notch. It starts off with the drummer, and then the piano comes in, and they're both in the middle. But it's interesting because I think at a certain point the piano moves over to the side a little bit. It gets panned over a little bit, I think, and
it definitely does. What's interesting is that piano has has a melodic line which is dun 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 dun, and the bass is mimicking that at first.
Sure, and then the guitar comes in the left ear. It's like for a while, it's just kind of sounds like, is this a mono track? And then you hear a guitar come in the left ear.
Well, actually, what's interesting is
which is cool.
I've heard this is a remastered version, I think from 2006, and I've heard, I guess an older version of this, or there's a music video of this song, of them in the studio recording this, and I could swear that the guitar was on the right ear, actually. I could swear it.
Well,
but I'm not sure if I will swear it because I'm not totally sure, but I'm pretty darn sure it was in the right ear.
Also, you have those, I think, what are they, Moog synthesizers going on in both ears, actually. There are two of them going on, and it's a doubled line.
And then I think they're using the pitch bend on that. Dun, dun, I think they're doing something there, right? Right. And then also, you have the horns. I love that horn line when on that, when he's singing falsetto, I think. But I can't do the horn line, but it has this cool creeping in sound to it that it's really well arranged, I gotta say. They arranged it very well.
This is they kind of pulled out all the stops for this song.
You were talking about whether or not this is, look, I mean, according to Wikipedia, they just call it by the Four Seasons. Of course, I'm not sure what the, if they were going by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons or just for Four Seasons at the time, but I'm pretty sure they were going by the Four Seasons. I think in the 70s they were just going by the Four Seasons. By the way, I think the keyboard on. I think Bob Gaudio. I think I mentioned before that he was no longer in the Beck group and just making writing the songs at this point and maybe producing them. But no, I think he did play keyboard on this actually.
Well, it's interesting. They still stuck with having sort of these Italian Jersey.
He also produced it too.
They had these Italian Jersey guys still being kind of the band members. I mean, before you had Tommy DeVito and Bob Gaudio and Frankie Valli, they're all Italian.
And the other guy, I don't remember his name.
They're replaced by, Jerry Polci or Polki, and then Don Ciccone,
Ciccone, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's
or
just
no,
like...
Ciccione. Yeah, no, that's me.
They're still Italian. They're probably from New Jersey, too. I don't know. Maybe they're not. But it's just funny they have these Italian last names. And was that on accident or was that a purposeful thing,
I don't know. But also, I was going to mention about that guitar being in the left ear. It is doing kind of this funky kind of rhythm. And then it definitely has that wah-wah pedal action. It's real funky right there,
Right.
So it's a pop tune that's incorporating elements of, all the popular things that were going on in pop music at the time,
Mm-hmm. Great tune. I think that'll do it for this reaction video. If you like what you heard and saw today, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.